Hello students, welcome back. In the last session we have discussed a simple Java Swing program. In today's session we will discuss event handling in Java Swing. The event handling mechanism which is used in Java Swing, it is the same as the event handling mechanism which is used in AWT. So we will discuss event handling with an example program in today's session. So let's start. The event handling mechanism used by Swing is the same as that used by the AWT, that is Abstract Windowing Toolkit. We have already studied about the event handling in AWT in the first unit. The event handling approach which is used by Java Swing, it is called as delegation event model. So in delegation event model, the work of handling the event, it is delegated to the event handler code which is specified. So that is delegation event model. Even this we have discussed in the unit 1, so we will not go in detail with this. All the events are packaged in a package java.awt.event. So if you are writing a program in Swing which handles events, then you have to import a package, that is java.awt.event. This is the same package which we have used on AWT as well. There are certain events which are specific to Swing also, and Swing specific events are stored in a package called as javax.swing.event. But in most of our programs we will be using java.awt.event package to handle events. Okay, now let us go through an example program to understand how events are handled. Okay, this is what we are going to create. We will be creating an application with two buttons. You can see here there are two buttons and there is a label, and this container, this is an application, not applet. So this container, it is JFrame. So we have to create a JFrame that we have seen in the last session. So this is JFrame. We have JFrame, then we have two buttons. So this is button 1, button 2, and a label. These many components we need in this GUI, and even events needs to be handled. So whenever I click on this first button, alpha, it should display alpha was pressed. If I click on beta, it should display beta was pressed. Okay, so let's start. To create this program, let us open Notepad++. Okay, this is our earlier program. So let us make some modification in the same program. Okay, I'll write a different program itself. So the first thing is import javax.swing.star. Then we should declare a class. I'll say event demo. There should be no space in the class name. Then we should declare a constructor. I said the GUI should be created from the constructor. Again, the GUI can be created even from the main method, but it is suggested that we have to create our GUI from the constructor instead of using the main method to create the GUI. So let us declare a constructor event demo. Then inside the constructor, the first thing which is required, it is the container. Without the container we cannot add the components. So first, while creating a GUI, the first thing which you have to create, it is the container. So like for example, here we will be using JFrame. JFrame FRM is equals to new JFrame. Again, event demo. This will be displayed on the title bar. So JFrame is created. There's one more way to create a JFrame, that by extending the JFrame, your class can even extend JFrame, like extends JFrame. Even this way also you can create a JFrame, like we did for applet. Our class was extending applet. Even a class can extend JFrame, so that there is no need to create a JFrame separately as an object. You can extend the JFrame here. In this case, the class event demo itself will behave like a JFrame, so no need to separately create a JFrame. But as we know, multiple inheritance is not allowed. Extends, we will not use extends, we will keep some scope for inheriting other classes. If we inherit JFrame, then we cannot inherit any other class. That is why we use to create an object of JFrame. So JFrame, then there are certain attributes of JFrame I said which needs to be set. So first is you can say JFrame dot set size, height and width has to be specified. So I'll say 300 comma 300. Then FRM dot set default close operation, and JFrame dot exit on close. Means when user clicks on the close button of the JFrame, the application should end. Then one more important property of JFrame is visibility. So set visible in bracket true. Okay, these are the properties which you have to set for JFrame once you create the JFrame. After that, in the GUI we need two buttons and a label. So we will create buttons. In Swing, buttons are created almost same like in case of AWT, only J needs to be added to it. So J button it is. So I'll say btn1 is equals to new J button. I'll say alpha. So first button is created. In a similar way we can create second button. Beta. So both the buttons we have created, let us create a label as well. J label LBL1 is equals to new J label. Initially there is nothing on the label. Okay, all the components we have created. Now we have to add the components on the container. So first we will add the buttons. To add the buttons we have to use frm.add btn1. Second, frm.add btn2, and lastly frm.add the label we have to add LBL1. So we have added even a label. Now the next thing it is event handling. In this program we will be using anonymous inner classes to handle events. We have already studied about anonymous inner classes at the end of the first unit. If you don't know about anonymous inner class, you just go through the videos of anonymous inner class first. Okay, so let us add a listener to the buttons btn1 and btn2. So btn1 dot add button always generates action event. As you know, whenever you click on a button, action event is generated. So we have to register an action listener with a button. Add action listener, and inside this bracket we have to send a handler or the listener class object which will listen and handle the event. So one way it is to declare a separate class, separate inner class, and object of that class can be passed here. There are many different ways for doing the same. Or another way is you can convert your class into a listener class by implementing action listener, and in your class you can define a method public void action performed, and here you can pass this, means current object or current class will handle the events. Or we can go for anonymous inner class. So as I've said, in this example we will go for anonymous inner class. So we will declare an inner class here itself by using new. Then we have to declare an interface which is inherited by that anonymous class. So here action listener. Then inside the flower bracket, so we have here one class, we have some class here which is inheriting action listener interface. As it is inheriting action listener interface, this class should provide body for one method. The method is public void action performed, and action performed method takes one argument, that is action event. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so this is our event handling code. Whenever you click on the button that is btn1, this action performed is executed. Now inside this action performed we have to add the code which we want to execute. As I have said, whenever you click on the first button that is alpha, label should have the content alpha was pressed. So let us add some content to the label now. lbl1 dot set text, in bracket we will say alpha was pressed or alpha was clicked. Okay, so we have added event handler for the first button, even we have to add it for the second button. Now let us first test the first button. I'll just close the class, save the program. I'm saving the program in F drive, so event demo is the program name .java. It is saved. So let us compile it. Again open cmd, go to the drive F, so F drive, then javac event demo.java. Wait for it to compile. Okay, there is some error. It is saying cannot find symbol, and it is showing an arrow mark at this position, action listener. So symbol, which symbol? It is not able to find the symbol that is action listener. So action listener, it is an interface which is used for handling events, and this interface, it is part of which package? It is not part of Swing. It is part of import java dot awt dot event. As I've said, even Swing uses the same event handling code as AWT. So java.awt.event package has to be imported. Okay, let us compile it again. Now it is compiled successfully. Once you compile, you can execute it by using java space event demo. Okay, there is still an error. What it says, main method not found in class event demo, please define the main method, that is public static void main. Okay, so we haven't defined a main method in this program, so we have to define a main method. Without the main method we cannot execute this, because this is application, not applet. So outside the constructor we will declare a main method, public void main, it is public static void main, string of arguments. Okay, from inside the main we have to call the constructor, okay, because constructor creates the GUI. But as we have discussed in the last session, while calling this constructor or while creating a GUI, it has to be created on event dispatching thread. So event dispatching thread can be created by using Swing utilities class. Swing utilities dot invoke letter, in bracket we have to send anonymous inner class we have to create for a thread. So new runnable, and there is a class which is inheriting runnable. As it is inheriting runnable, this class should have a definition for method public void run. Okay, and this bracket which is opened here, after this class declaration I'll close it, bracket is closed and semicolon, and from inside this run method we have to call our GUI. GUI can be created by creating an object of the class. So I'll say event demo d is equals to new event demo. Save, and again we will compile it. Okay, now the GUI is displayed, but we are not able to we are not able to see the buttons. Can you see the buttons? No, buttons are not visible. Why the buttons are not visible? Let us find out. Okay, I'll add some text on the label as well. I'll say this is label. Okay, there is an error. Okay, by mistake some letter has been printed at line number 27. Line number 27 is here. I'll just remove this T, save it. Okay, compiled successfully. I'm executing it. Okay, now you can see here content of the label is displayed, means there is a label is displaying, but what about the buttons? The thing is the layout of the J-frame, by default the layout it is the border layout, and by default the components in the border layout are added at the center of the J-frame. So when I added the first button, it was added at the center. When I added the second button, even this button is added on the center but on top of the first button. So the first button is not visible, the second was visible, but at the end, at the last, I have added a label. So even label is added at the center, hiding the first two buttons. It is hiding both the buttons, so only the label is visible to you, and label is taking the complete space which is available on the form, remember. And that is the reason we are not able to see other buttons or other components, only the label. So what we have to do in this case is we have to change the layout. So layout of a container decides how components needs to be added on the, or how component needs to be placed on the container. So there are different layouts which have been used in Java Swing as well as in AWT. We will be using one layout for now here. How to set a layout? You can say frm dot set layout. In bracket you have to send a layout object. So we will set a layout that is flow layout for now. So I'll say new flow layout. Okay, flow layout adds components sequentially one by one from the left corner to the right corner, and once it reaches the right corner, the components are shifted to the next line. Okay. In case of applet, we were not setting a layout. Even in case of applet, we can set a layout. But the thing was, in applet, default layout itself, it is flow layout. So the components were added one after the other. So it was not added one upon the other. Like in this case, it is happening like that. It is border layout. So components by default are added one on the other. So only one component is visible here. In case of applet, that was not the case, so we were not setting a layout. But here in application, we have to do that. We have set a layout now. Let us go back and compile your program. Okay, there is one more error. It is saying cannot find symbol flow layout. So let us find out what is this error. Flow layout class, it is not present in Swing package. Flow layout belongs to the AWT package. So we have to use here even AWT, import java.awt.star. So let us again go back and compile it. Okay, there is a spelling mistake, you can see here, Java. Now it has been compiled successfully. Let us execute this. Now we are able to see all the buttons. Okay, so this is a GUI. If I click on alpha, you can see it is displaying alpha was pressed. Okay, it is displaying alpha was pressed. When I click on beta, it is not displaying anything. because we haven't handled event on beta, only we have handled event on alpha. That is the reason it is displaying only alpha was pressed. So let us even handle event on beta. Okay. So on btn1 we have handled the event. Now we will handle event on btn2. btn2 dot add action listener, then it will be the same code, void action performed, action event, okay. This should not be closed here. Public btn2 dot add action listener, in bracket it has to be new action listener. Okay. Now in action performed we have to, again I'll copy the same code. Now instead of alpha was clicked, I'll say beta was clicked. Whenever you click on a button 2, that is beta, it will execute this code, action performed, and it will display beta was clicked. So let us verify. Compile, execute. Okay. If I click on alpha, you can see it is displaying alpha was pressed, alpha was clicked. When I click on beta, you can see it is displaying beta was clicked. So this is how events can be handled in Swing. Okay, with this we will stop here today. Thank you.